And swoop. Yeah, yeah. What's up, everybody? Back to your favorite recap and mine. Anybody has anything to really, name the show? We are open to suggestions. You see, we're just trying to, y'all get it. We talking about Pokemon. We analyzing it. We watching back the first series. We trying to not have too wordy of a title. Yeah, it's a whole part of the content creation and all that. Of like, I want to describe what we doing, but also get something catchy, all that good stuff. So if anybody has any ideas and comments, we're very open to suggestions. My name is SOS Rampages, right on down there. And you kind of know that because you're on the channel and stuff like that. It's yeah, I got that. And then there's this guy over here. I still can't get it right. It's that one on the other side.
And I am SOS Farm.
And yeah, so we already
you face my wall.
we already went over, as hopefully you watched the first installment of this, where we talked about episodes 1 through 5, where we had left off with our hero getting his first pity badge. Yay! Good job. Pity badge number 1. And that's where a lot of the titles are going to come from too, is because we will be honest, just like Misty is, this entire journey of Ash is given a lot of help from his friends and the niceties of people.
He's not really learning anything on his own.
No. Speaking of, leading into the 6th episode, in the first episode, we're going to talk about Clefairy and the Moonstone. One of my favorite episodes. I mean, we're going to be saying that a lot, obviously, through, because we have a lot of favorite episodes. But this is one that stood out to me because it was very different than the rest. Had this kind of like alien aspect of like they came from, space and stuff like that. The giant moonstone in the background, which another, strike against Ash. Oh, there's a giant moonstone right there. That could evolve your Pokemon. He did not try to catch one of these Clefairies. There's about 100 there.
No, he was just swept up in the moment for some reason. But every other time, he's like gung-ho on like, oh, I got to try to catch one of these.
I mean, they just think of a Clefable in that stat in there eventually. But
was this the first like episode of Pokemon with like a mystery base around it?
Yes, this is the first one that had that kind of mystery base and was trying to teach into the lore a little bit, and kind of had the first outside cast member that doesn't join the crew.
Yeah, I love their mysteries because they really don't tell you anything. They just leave you wondering more.
Yes, and it's kind of very open-ended as far as, and that's where everybody gets their kind of ideas of, what they believe Pokemon's about.
Yeah.
It's very, they do a good job at that, leaving it open-ended, but also answering as many questions as they can.
Yeah, and I find like as we're watching it now, and we see these episodes, like I'm coming up with theories and running them by you, and you're running by theories. I'm like, we're still coming up with new stuff.
Right. As far as the actual content of the episode, I mean, it was your basic kind of Pokemon episode. As far as they learned their lesson. Team Rocket came at the end, as far as when they had the giant moonstone. The entire idea behind it is that was Team Rocket's idea. They seem to go back and forth with this kind of idea of like they really want Pikachu sometimes, and then sometimes they're like, but like look at this shiny new toy over here, and it really depends on like. And I mean, it goes further on down the line of when we were watching further on. It's like, why do you want this one? There's other options, but it's very interesting to see them just kind of like, no, this is the one right now. We want this.
Yeah, they're constantly stalking Pikachu, but it's like if they can grab something in the meantime, let's do a little side project.
Exactly, and I mean,
but all their projects fail.
Right, and it's also going back to like. None of them really try to catch any of these extra Pokemon that are just around in this cave. I mean, it's very. The show is very after school special-esque, but had Pokemon attached to it. That's what I'm getting from watching shows like, I watched Heavy in Degrassi and Heavy in some of these after school special type of shows. It's very much so teaching a lesson and building a slight story arc and adding Pokemon in, but the Pokemon thing is definitely backseat as far as like it's the lesson first. You're not playing it like you play the game. You're not seeing every Pokemon and being like, I want to catch it. Like it's very much so trying to build the story, trying to build the why behind it as much as humanly possible, at least.
Yeah. That show would be chaotic if it was like the game.
That's true too. And it seems to be consistent with many animes. We have not watched many animes. It's something we can lead into hopefully at some point in the future, but that seems to be consistent with a lot of them. But everybody, you know, is safe, and you know, the Clefairies live happily ever after with the scientists up there, and you know, they dance around the Moonstone, and it is kind of a spectacle to see. The little picture in the background that we have is kind of like,
you know what?
I remember as a kid.
You know why Ash didn't get a Clefairy?
Why?
Because nobody gave him one.
That's true. If the Clefairy just came up and gave him a hug, then he'd be like,
it would have been a part of the team. Because that's how he was getting all his Pokemon up to that point.
These are facts. And going on from one pity to another, going into the next episode, we finally get to learn into the backstory of Misty a little bit. And
the pity train keeps chugging along.
It's like, and it's also, you just feel bad for Misty, and you don't really understand Misty's story arc here. As far as like, yes, she's made fun of and she's the baby sister, so maybe that's why she's trying to expand and go all over the place. But like, she doesn't really. I mean, it's the bike thing. Yes, we get it. He stole her bike. That's the real crux of it. But like,
she's the tomboy of the sisters. They're all girly and they talk like as if. And Misty's like, get me away from them.
Yeah, so I guess she's just trying to make her own path and do her own thing, but at the same time, like, you're a whole leader over there. Either kind of make yourself better on the outside or go back. I don't know. It's kind of.
Well, she can if she can get her bike back. She get her bike, she can bike back home and continue to crush it.
Yeah, and it's another one of these times where Ash just did not understand any sort of what Pokemon fight's good against. Like, I don't know if he looked into any of this. Like, I don't know if as a child in the Pokemon lore, like you study Pokemon. I mean, I know later on we're gonna talk about the school, and I guess that's where people that study Pokemon go if they really want to. But like, he's dumb. He's just dumb.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You know what? I want to say he's young and he'll get better, and he will get better, and like he'll learn more. But he's only there. There's a ceiling for Ash. He's not going to become the greatest. I don't know that whole Ash story.
Yeah. And he really, I'm just saying it is pity, and it is a lot of his friends, but like, he's got to give those huge assists to Team Rocket for getting some of these badges as well, because crashing the party really has just led to him.
You know what, Rampage? Ash is he's just a good kid who doesn't know any good, and you just want to see him succeed. So here you go, little kid. Have a Squirtle. Good luck to you.
Here's another shiny badge for you.
Yeah, he just has that. Sir, please help me.
Yeah, but he should need to earn it a little bit.
He should.
Just a tiny bit.
Yeah. See, Gary got a growth spurt. He's got like a little 5 o'clock shadow, and they're like, "Ooh, who's this wise guy?"
I mean, Gary got like 5 badges at this point, so that's the Gary the Goat. We've talked about this.
You've talked. You've talked. I'm straying away.
I'm gonna keep preaching it. Because man's is the goat.
I mean, I'm just saying, man. He's like Roman Reigns in 2K24. He just talks in the background, but he ain't ever there. I ain't seen a battle.
He'll be there.
Eventually.
He's too busy getting badges and catching Pokemon. He's caught like 50 more Pokemon.
Oh man, what a story!
He knows. He would have caught that Clefairy.
He would have caught that Clefairy, I bet. He probably caught 3 of them.
You'll have to see it. It's fine.
I'm sure
he going forward, Ash gets the second badge because of the help of Team Rocket crashing the day, and Misty feeling bad for him because words. That's about friendship and
He owes her a whole bike, and she still gave him a badge.
Just because they protected the gym. You
I
couldn't
know,
even
yeah.
fall for it a little bit.
I don't know, nah, man. That's the family business, you know. Like, you saved. You know what? Here, take the badge. I get that.
All right.
It's family. Don't make me get Vin Diesel in here.
This one's gonna be a pretty brief episode as far as the episode 8's concerned, because yeah, it's basically just Ash going to another Pokemon trainer that apparently is 99-0 and trains his Pokemon very well and seems to level his Pokemon up, maybe in some odd methods, but does seem to train them up, and they seem to be pretty good Pokemon and happy Pokemon at the end of the day. Proceeds to go into this man's training center and tell him how to do things and what to do when he got beat.
His training techniques are definitely different and tougher than Ash's, but like you said, his Pokemon are happy, and he's 99-0, and Ash just walks up in here trying to tell him how to do the Pokemon thing that Ash barely knows how to do.
Yeah, and then his Sandshrew trashes him.
Yeah, basically. Easily.
That's
man. That episode won't be over with Sandshrew.
And that's, I mean, I don't. Is there anything else you want to touch on with that one? That's basically the episode.
No, Ash needs to learn to respect
Akira wasn't
training.
Wrong.
He was.
Put that out there. Akira was right.
He was 100% right.
Moving on to episode 9. This is where we go to the Pokemon school, this prep school that there is for Pokemon. I bet that Pokemon school is expensive. In this Pokemon world, is Pokemon training a high, like, we're getting, okay, that was a quick breakdown over there. Let's get into some logistics here of Pokemon. Are there other jobs for these people? Is Pokemon trainer like the highest paying job? Are we training all of our children to be the top Pokemon trainers? Or like, what is this economy looking like here?
Well, I'm thinking there's Pokemon trainer, Pokemon master, Pokemon professor.
Because Pokemon they're the nurses and the cops are all taken. The Joys and the Jennies have them down. There's no job for them there.
Pokemon breeder. And then you got,
but everything has to do around Pokemon.
And then you got the crime circuit, which may consist of Team Rocket or cloning, stealing Pokemon.
So essentially, Pokemon. You either have 3 options in life. You either send your child to a prep school for a lot of money, you unleash them onto the streets and hope for the best to see if they'll become a good Pokemon trainer, or they go to a life of crime.
Yeah, unless you as a Pokemon trainer made a lot of money, so your family's good. So you're like, hey, why don't you just go in the village and find a nice girl to marry, my son?
Which is, I don't feel like that's a thing either, because like, is there really like people that are like that? It feels like the gym trainers or like the gym leaders are always constantly moving. You got new challengers coming up at all times. There's no retiring for these people. It seems like
no, this is life. This is life forever. As long as the Pokemon exist, they're gonna keep this. This is the Earth and the realm. This is every day, all day.
Yeah, and just this one kind of ties in together perfectly with episode 8. As far as like 9 is very similar of them going these 10, 11, 12-year-olds going into this school that's been run for years at a time and saying, we don't like the methods here. This doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Them looking down. Who are you?
Coming in with his two pity badges now.
Get out.
Yeah.
Go.
And these kids are like hitting them with the knowledge that they know from their books, and he's like, wait, how do you know that? And they're like, oh, I know way more than you. Like, how'd you get 2 badges, kid?
I bet they were given to you.
Literally, that's what they say. Homegirl
Misty
starts
just backing
cracking.
him up. But yeah,
Homegirl starts cracking jokes.
as she should.
And Ash had nothing to say. Ah,
Leading into the last episode, that's episode 10, and we're leading into some of people's favorite Pokemon of all time, and the continuing of the pity lineup building. Of we get to meet Bulbasaur for the first time. He is part of some sort of refugee spa for Pokemon that are hurt in battle that he saves.
like a bodyguard.
Yeah, he seems to be there with some lady. I don't remember. It's either in the notes. I don't remember her name.
She had blue hair and
Melanie.
like,
Melanie
okay.
is her name. Yeah,
and
Brock is
Brock
in
also,
love, of course.
Yeah, Brock fell in love with her again.
Yeah, again.
Brock falls in love again,
as he does with every female that comes across his path. You know, but poor guy. He tries.
One of them. If he just finds one, he'll be set for life and he'll be back to normal.
I mean, but like, okay, so you know, we'll go since we have a couple extra minutes. I feel like we'll deep dive into this since you already mentioned it earlier. Is this out of respect to Ash that he not messing with Misty? Is Misty too tomboy for him? There's a female that literally travels with them. You see, that he's never looked at like that.
I feel like there's a gym leader code. I don't, because like they don't even look at each other like that way ever. Like they just like from the moment they know each other, they're like, "Oh, you're a gym leader? Oh yeah, okay, cool." And then like they know like they're square. They're like they are one, but they can't be one.
It's too powerful in the Pokemon world.
yeah, exactly.
Leader on leader.
You know what that spawn would bring?
You're building Pokemon dynasties.
The rock water Pokemon infusion of the two. What kind of trainer would that be?
Building dynasties upon dynasties.
That's probably how Gary Oak was made.
That's why he's the GOAT.
And that's why they don't allow it anymore.
Exactly. That makes sense.
My grandson, Billy. I mean, Gary.
Just a slight, a side note too, of course, because every Pokemon that ever is in the universe is Ash's. When Misty is like, "Hey, that Pokemon's by the water. Can I try?" Nope. No. Mine.
Terrible. It was like, I guess you should have caught all the water Pokemon you could before you met me, Misty. Okay.
Thanks, Ash. But it leads into them, obviously, Team Rocket seeing a giant spa of Pokemon and being like, "Woohoo, all the Pokemon in the world." Them defending the honor of the Pokemon. Then basically Melody giving Bulbasaur to Ash out of pity, and Bulbasaur being too big a G like that. Be like, "Nah, you gonna jump me in. You jumping me in, Sway.
No, we gonna fight first."
So
Pikachu whoops his ass.
Yeah, Pikachu takes it to him, and
that's it.
Bulbasaur's
there. On the team.
But just throwing it out there that he was going to be given, and he
he was going to join.
He was going to join no matter what. I feel like even if he won,
probably even Bulbasaur. He wanted to fight his way in.
Bulbasaur let him win. That's what I believe. Bulbasaur took the L just to make his new teammates look good.
Damn. What a conspiracy. Bulbasaur could have beat Pikachu.
Yeah, he took the L on purpose.
Damn. I think you're onto something.
Take my cat back around. No, it's 100%.
Mm-hmm.
But I appreciate anybody for tuning in and checking this out. Like I said, if you have anything, that you want to add, anything you want us to watch, anything that you want to put in as far as the title is concerned, we are pretty open and up to anything and everything. But with that being said, appreciate y'all. My name is SOS Rampage down there. That is
SOS Farm.
And we will catch you all next time. Peace.